Near Pokrovsk, the Swedish-made PBV-302 armored personnel carrier was completely destroyed thanks to a precision strike by Russian drone operators. The drone operator both destroyed the vehicle's engine and burned its interior. In the same direction, the YPR-765 armored personnel carrier was also destroyed. Footage of the destruction of a UAV control point of the Ukrainian armed forces. After reconnaissance units identified the UAV control position, the coordinates were transmitted to the strike units after precise calculations. Then, the work began. First, the UAV control bunker was hit. Then, the antennas controlling the UAVs were hit, destroying the position from all sides. The D-20 152mm howitzer of the Dnipro artillery unit destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces UAV control point in the Kakhovka region. The position was completely destroyed after the reconnaissance drone unit transmitted precisely calculated coordinates to the artillery unit. The Zala reconnaissance UAV of the Russian paratroopers detected and destroyed a foreign-made howitzer in the Zaporizhzhia region. Two S-1 Gvozdika of the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed in the direction of Kramatorsk. According to the latest reports, Russian troops continue to advance in the direction of Kramatorsk. All equipment and installations in this direction are being destroyed, and the advance is gaining momentum. The fighting in the region continues in full intensity. Russian drones destroyed the equipment. Then the ammunition inside the equipment exploded, and a powerful explosion occurred. The Russian Rocket Artillery Brigade carried out powerful strikes in the direction of Kharkiv. It hit the targets with pinpoint accuracy. A BY and BC depots were destroyed. In addition, American Patriot SAMs were hit. Night operations continue. Russian reconnaissance drone operators have uncovered a trench of the Ukrainian armed forces. Russian attack drones repeatedly struck the bunker actively used by the soldiers. Part of the bunker collapsed due to the intensity of the strikes. Some of the soldiers went to other shelters during the attacks, but wherever they went, Russian drones followed them. Rozivka settlement. Russian drone operators detected the movement of two Ukrainian soldiers. They transmitted the location to the artillery. The artillery shot the building. Then, in the same direction, operators revealed the location of soldiers hiding in another building. The drone approached the building and destroyed it. Near the settlement of Chasiv Yar, a T-64 tank of the 24th Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was destroyed. In Chasiv Yar, attacks were carried out by Manilya, 2 drones on buildings where the Ukrainian armed forces were hiding. This aircraft-type attack drone is increasingly used on the line of contact. It can dodge the REB of the Ukrainian armed forces and carry a 6-kilogram combat payload for 30 kilometers to successfully hit the target even from behind. A camouflaged tank of the Ukrainian armed forces, no matter how well camouflaged it is, and no matter how many obstacles are put up to protect it from drone attacks, it still cannot stop Russian drones. This expensive million-dollar equipment weighing tons was destroyed by 3 to 4 small FPV drone attacks. As far as I can see from the video, I think the crew of the tank is in the house with the blue roof right next to the tank. After combat work in the Kursk region, the specialists of the Anvar detachment are now fighting Ukrainian troops in the Belgorod region. The footage shows the work of UAV operators near Demidovka. Ukrainian troops do not stop trying to advance into the territory of the Belgorod region. They are attacking with rocket artillery and using UAVs en masse. Russian aerial reconnaissance and strike UAV units are closely monitoring the movements of the Ukrainian armed forces. Here, as in other parts of the front, UAV operators perform the bulk of the combat work. Russian military captured Ukraine's expensive helicopter-type drone. It was added to the collection. Baba Yaga. Russian artillery continues to work along the entire front line with all barreled artillery of various calibers on the positions and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine. Ukrainian soldiers recorded the footage. Paratroopers of the 217th Regiment of the 98th Airborne Division shot down 2 Ukrainian Armed Forces Mavic drones. Russian drones with this net launching capability can easily shoot down other drones in the air. Since the net thrown by the drone is large, it is enough to shoot down the other drone in any case. In the same direction, another American armored vehicle, International Max Pro of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, was destroyed by a fiber optic drone attack. This time, the armored vehicle was abandoned with the door left open. When vehicles are abandoned, one of the doors is always left open. Why do you think this could be? A T-72 tank sent for repairs was destroyed by an attack by Russian drone operators in the Seversk direction. The tank was well camouflaged, but all efforts were in vain in the face of the drone attack. It is almost impossible to hide anything from drones in the open. Near Chasev Yar, Strela 10 is working on air targets. It hit the target with a direct hit and destroyed it in the air.
Yes!
Pokrovsk direction. Near Novosergeyevka, a Russian fiber optic drone hit an American M113 APC. The armored vehicle lost its course as a result of a blow to the rear. FPV drone crews of the 200th Independent Guard Motorized Rifle Brigade detected and destroyed a camouflaged 122mm 2S1 Gvozdika self-propelled vehicle of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The 152mm Hyacinth B cannon of the Dnieper troops destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces cannon in the Kherson region with an accurate hit.
Выстрел!
Zaporizhzhia direction. The movement of soldiers in the trenches was detected. Then the Russian FPV drone was activated and flew directly into the trench. When it reached their hiding place in the trench, the FPV drone exploded. The soldiers realized they had been spotted and went to the bunker at the other end of the trench, but the Russian drones continued to follow them. Another drone came to the other bunker where they were hiding, and that's what happened. Zaporizhzhia front. The village is in ruins. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that Dnieper troops liberated the village of Malye Shcherbaki in Zaporizhzhia region as a result of active and decisive actions. As a result of the precise coordinates provided by the operators of FPV drones to artillery units, Grad MLRS units, tank units, the targets were hit precisely and the village was liberated. Ukrainian soldiers surrendered in the face of calls from Russian soldiers to surrender. Surrounded on all sides, the soldiers made the sensible decision to lay down their arms and surrender. At the insistence of their commanders, they surrendered to Russian forces. Moments of offensive on the Zaporizhzhia front. Russian artillery and drones hit strongholds near the village of Kamyanske. In groups of 2, the surviving soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine moved away from the forest and tried to take refuge in pre-prepared houses. Russian artillery destroyed one of the buildings with accurate fire. And then the FPV drone operators of the 429th Regiment set out to hit those hiding in the basement. The 68th Iron Tank Regiment destroyed positions of the Ukrainian armed forces south of Toretsk. In the village of Ulyanivka in Sumy region, 31 kilometers from the Russian state border, military equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine was spotted during aerial reconnaissance. A loader for S-300 missiles was destroyed using Lancet barrage ammunition. Russia has been conducting missile strikes and drone attacks to target Ukraine's S-300 batteries. The S-300 series is a long-range air defense missile system that provides an effective defense, especially against aircraft, cruise missiles, and ballistic threats. The million-dollar powerful 2S-1 Gvozdika 122mm self-propelled howitzer was destroyed by a single Russian FPV drone attack. What do you think about the destruction of this heavily armored and expensive equipment by small drones? It seems that it is no longer possible to hide or escape from drones. Drones are constantly flying in the sky and can attack from anywhere at any time. This plays a big role in the course of modern warfare. Drones of the 200th Independent Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade discovered a camouflaged T-64BV tank in the direction of Kramatorsk. The aircraft-type attack drone then took action and hit the tank. Then the tank started to burn. There were 2 drone strikes and, against all odds, the tank was scrapped after the 3rd drone strike. The 2nd and 3rd drones were fiber optic drones. Prince Vandal of Novgorod,